Welcome, everyone. Super excited to be talking to you again today. If you're in Sand Valley, good evening. And if you're in Silicon Valley, good morning. I just got back from the Global AI Show, and we had lots to talk about. Still, though, what's most interesting to me is when we talk about leadership transformations, whether you're a CEO, an entrepreneur, looking for a job, a student, leadership of one, happening right now because of AI, the number one thing that still tends to get people's attention and lots of conversation is when I said that, listen, as AI makes knowledge free and information accessible, judgment becomes priceless. And so I thought I would do what I thought I'd do today is to talk to you about what I am doing. The number one thing that I believe as a CEO that you have to do with your teams right now is empower and improve judgment. AI continues to be everywhere, information continues to be everywhere, and the number one skill your team is going to need in order to be successful and execute, whether you're a team of one or you're a team of 5,000, 50,000, or 20, is the ability to improve your judgment. So let me share with you some things that I'm doing. So number one, the first thing I will tell you in improving your judgment is all things are important, but they are not equal. So many leaders get confused with giving multiple priorities, whether you're, again, to yourself or whether you're talking to a large organization or a large team. Here's what we do in our organization. First of all, we meet every month. Quarterly meetings, from a leadership perspective, too long. Monthly are critically to align around your key strategic objectives. But in that session, we talk about our V2 MOM. And for us, that means visions and values happens first. So we have a document. So here's our visions, here's our values, all on a single page. Here's our methods, and here's our metrics. Methods are, what are we going to do? What are we committing to do to execute? Now, here's the deal. When you're doing your methods, saying what you're going to do, you need to be able to prioritize those. So as a team, what we do is we do a simple 2x2 matrix. So ultimately, on the horizontal axis, it's around how much time am I putting into something. So the least amount of time, the better. So I'm putting little on time, and how much value am I getting out of it? It's that simple. Time versus value. So things that require very little time, but give me a lot of value, we call those no-brainers. We want to do those first. And then we have things that take a lot of time, so we're closer in on the time scale, but deliver a tremendous amount of value. Those are worth the effort. So now we got the top two. To the right, no-brainers, and to the left of that, worth the effort. Now we shift down on the bottom scale. We're now talking about things that don't deliver a lot of value, things that don't require a lot of time to do, but don't also deliver a lot of value. We call those quick wins. And then, of course, in the lower left-hand corner, the death zone, those things that take a lot of time and don't require a lot of value. Now, here's the trick. You get your teams together and you want to improve judgment. You want to dialogue. If you got two people in a team, one person in a team, 30 people in a team, each team member gets 12 points. 4 points for worth the effort, 2 points for your no-brainers, and 1 point for your quick wins. So if you got 12 points, that means you can do 3 worth the efforts, or you can do 6 no-brainers, or you can do any combination of no-brainers and quick wins, and that gives you 30 days to get that work done. Very, very essential, a clean and easy way to prioritize, because as you think about AI and think about improving your judgment, information is plentiful. It's about the choices you make, and you got to get clear on the direction you're headed. So that's the first thing that we do within my organization to help improve and drive judgment. And I got a team right now of about 20 humans, got to say that, and about 200 plus, I'd say, AI identity twins. Okay, let's go into number two. Number two, in terms of improving your judgment with your teams, again, team of one or a team of 20 or a team of 5,000, you got to shift your meanings from updates to insights. Let me be really, really clear. It's an amazing fact. 65% of managers will tell you that they didn't get their work done because they were in meetings. And yet 71% say, well, you know what? I get little value out of the meetings. That's because most meetings are updates telling you what has already happened. My team knows this very well. Real-time information is simply too late. What you need to do is shift these meetings from updates to insights. What do I mean by insight? Follow the IRR rule. It means that every single person that's going to be attending these meetings has got to give you insight. Number one, that means why does it matter? Why am I in this meeting for? Implication, second I, which means why does it matter? So what matters and why it matters. And the third one is the recommendation, the R, IIR, what we should do. So if you can't come to the meeting and articulate what matters, why it matters, and what's the recommendation, then that's just an update. That's an email. It's not a meeting, or that's a note, or that's a quick note on Teams, but it's not a meeting. So capture your time, and you got to shift meetings from being updates to truly being insightful. That will, again, give you a practical way to improve the judgment of your team. Okay, if we think about other things that we are going into, right? Let's talk a bit about the third area. The third is really, really important. And this third is about creating a psychological safety net for dissent. That means it's okay to disagree. I can't tell you, if you look at the data, it's been proven teams that have a high psychological safety outperform those that don't by up to 40%. So if you want to improve judgment in the age of AI, where all this information is coming, you have to allow people to judge. That's the core goal, right? So how do you do this practically? Well, one of the things we do on our team is, especially we got a new team members. We just brought in, I think 10 new team members actually in the last couple of weeks. When we bring new team members in, we always, when we're having a discussion, we will always take the personalness out of it in the sense of saying, hey, we're going to assign, you guys will take the con case and you will take the pro case, or you will argue the cons and you will argue the pro. What does that do? It allows people to hear difference of views in a very safe setting, and it takes away, this is I from dissenting. So it's a great way, it takes the personalization out of it to get your team going and used to it. And then once you get comfortable, then people understand they're all pulling the same way. You should hopefully evolve to where they can, quite frankly, just openly have a good conversation and value dissenting opinions. But to get it going, especially a new team, you might want to do that. So if you're a team of one, you're an entrepreneur, let me tell you, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever your favorite LLM or GPT software solution is, have it argue the one point, you argue the other, or pick two and have one argue pro, one argue cons. Very, very valuable for you, again, to get used to making choices and improving your judgment, because that is the core skill set that you're going to need. Okay, let's go to the fourth thing, in a way that what we do in our team to kind of help, again, get at and improving judgment. This one is probably the most difficult of all the things that we're going to talk about, but still very, very important. Easy, again, if you're a team of one. Not so easy if you're a team of 5 or more, or 20 or 100, or whatever the case may be. Skills over hierarchy. Let me repeat that. Skills over hierarchy. That is the new performance model. What do I mean by that? That means that when we are looking at a particular problem or solution, or a decision that we think is critical to be made, or a business conversation, we are not looking at the hierarchy as the primary indication for why someone is in the meeting. So let me repeat that. We're not saying hierarchy doesn't matter. I'm saying that that is not the primary reason we are inviting you to the meeting, is because you run this part of the organization. That is not the primary reason. It is an important reason, very important, but not the primary reason. The primary reason is your skill set. What is your superpower? So when you think about that, what that means for my team, I have a leadership team, but What that means is not everyone on or in that leadership team is a direct report of mine. Very important. Let me repeat that. Not everyone that is in my leadership team is a direct report of me. Why is that? Because that leadership team, that primary functionality is skill over hierarchy. What skill sets do we need to be able to make decisions we're driving into? And I got to tell you, if you think about what's happening right now in the real world, in the world that we're talking about with AI, and I'm not talking about the stuff you're hearing in the press all the time. I'm talking about the people, the women and men building entrepreneurialism, building these companies on the ground. If you spend time with them and you understand who is winning and who is not, you think about Cursor, you think about Bolt, you think about Lovable. These are Cursor, 100 million in ARR in 21 months. 100 million in revenue in 21 months. How many people? Wait for it. 20 people. Bolt, 10 million in ARR in how many months? 2 months. How many people? 10 people. Or Lovable, 10 million in ARR in 2 months with how many people? 15 people. This is what we're talking about. It's so important. And then you look at the cultures they have built and the teams they have built, it is a skill-based, skill-driven hierarchy. Does not mean, again, that other things aren't important. It just means that's the primary one. Okay. Let me talk to you about my last one I'm going to talk to you tonight. And this is important. And a lot of people, when you think about how they're growing and kind of what they're doing, they actually don't really dive into this in a lot of detail, but it's really, really important. And that is governance. How will you make decisions? How do you manage the decision-making process, whether you're, again, a person of one or you're a person of three, a team of three, of 5,000, 100,000, what's your governance? Here's the thing I'm going to point to you, especially for my Sand Valley brethren, right? If you're in the GCC, over 70% of board members in the GCC governance surveys reported incentives that were only tied to compliance and not performance. This was a report by PwC and the IMD board governance study. What that means is that if you're trying to manage and improve your ability to judge, you're only managing judgment. You're biasing it on the downside. You're not allowing yourself to apply upside. And that in a time where the market is accelerating is a huge hindrance to value. When the market is accelerating, it's so important that you have a balanced judgment process because you need to balance upside with downside. In too many of these companies, board members are not compensated, especially in the GCC, based on value. They're only there to protect against the downside. So therefore, when new ideas come to the market, the hurdle rate is ridiculously high because, again, they don't celebrate in that value. So if you're going to think about the process that you're going to build, if you're a team of one, team of 5,000 or 100, that governance process that you put together has to balance both upside and downside. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We're here, I believe, Tuesdays and Thursdays are the times that we're coming to you live. We're going to keep doing it. We hope you enjoyed it. I will talk to you guys in a couple of days, and you guys have a great evening. And hey, happy holidays to you. Bye-bye.